Ooh, what's that smell? And that is our topic for today. Thank you so much for tuning in. This is Renovation of the Nose. One more week, and we're going to talk about what is that smell and why knowing that is so important. If you're new with us, please go down and hit the red button to subscribe. That will get you notified each time we put out a new video, and you can tune in and find out what the new smell is that we'll be talking about that time. So coming back to what is that smell? First of all, I want to do my technical
Ooh, that smell. Can't you smell that smell? Ooh, that smell. The smell gets around you.
Okay, and that is our intro song for today as well. That is my technical knowledge here, how to play a video while I'm on camera. But so people call me a lot on the phone and go, I got this odor. What product do I need? How do I get rid of the smell? Well, here at OdorXit, we have, as you may very well know, we have different products. We have the AQM, Air Quality Manager. We have Magic for odors in the air, kind of a safer Febreze. And we have the Eliminator. There we go. I can see it now. Hopefully you can. And which one would you use on what odor? And then people go, I don't know. I don't really know what dog body odor smells like, or I've never had dogs. It's a rental property and I don't know what they did here. Or, I just bought this car and I don't know. So we have to ask questions of our caller, of you, to find out more about to narrow down more what that smell could be. So it's a smell in a car. Is it a Beamer or is it an SUV? If it's an SUV, it probably had family and kids in there, and maybe the kids spilled milk. Maybe mom got gasoline in there. We can kind of start narrowing it down by the story behind the odor. I like that. I made that up this morning. The story behind the odor is really important. People call and go, my house stinks. Well, what's it smell like? Smells like an old lady smell. Okay. Makes me start to worry. But that narrows it down too. What we found the old lady smell kind of smells like could actually be two different things. It could be urine, that maybe they were incontinent. Worst case scenario, they died in the house, and then you'd have to go talk to the neighbors to find out the answer to that. But the eliminator, once the body's gone, will get rid of that smell too. So, it almost doesn't matter what the smell is. We just need to know what is the smell. So, old lady house, though, still leads me back to an old house. Was it closed up? How long did she live there? She lived there by herself. That says to me musty, moldy smells, really, more than incontinence. It could be incontinence, but a closed up house, whether somebody lived in it or not, could be just moisture getting into the basement, moisture coming in through a stone foundation. And when the water doesn't dry fast enough, then it creates mildew. It's musty smell. There may not be any distinct mold on the wall, on the drywall that you can see, but you can smell it in the air. And sometimes a house has been closed up for a while. You walk in the front door and smell it right away. Okay, then that means it is a musty smell. And you need AQM, and you need it throughout the whole house. Because what happens is it can start in the basement, and the basement leaks. That water doesn't dry. There's no air circulation. Nobody's walking through, making the air waft around to kind of dry it. It just kind of sits there. but yet it builds up and it works its way upstairs and throughout the house. And if you turn the air system on, furnace, air conditioning, fan, it draws that air from the basement up into the house. Now, if it's empty and none of those systems are turned on, it can still get upstairs just by the nature of it reproducing, the mold spores reproducing, and then they got to go somewhere and share the air, and they move upstairs, under doors, into carpets. And the mold actually feeds on wood. So wood is made, cardboard is made from wood. Carpet can be made out of wood, it's not going to feed off of plastic. It won't eat plastic. But there's moisture in wood. And what does mold need to grow? It needs the dark. It needs warmth and moisture. And what do you get in a basement? Dark, warm, moisture. So that's why it continues to grow, and then it's got to go someplace else. And couple things, people ask us a lot, why do I have to take the cardboard out of my basement house room when I use the AQM? Specifically, if you're using it for mold lives on cardboard, so it's eating the cardboard. So you want to get rid of that because it will continue to live there. And and then they say, well, can I just take it out and put it back when I'm done? Because actually the cardboard makes the AQM not work. It eats the gas. We had years ago, 2006 or 7, when we first started, we were selling the product, we had a musty smelling pillow. So we put a pillow into a cardboard box with this smaller yellow packet, which I don't seem to have. Well, maybe I do. The smaller yellow packet into a cardboard box in our living room with a little fan to just keep it stirred up. Took it out after about 3 days. No change. The pillow still stunk. Absolutely no difference to the pillow. Well, that's weird. Well, so then we put it into a plastic bag. Did the same thing. Got a different packet, put it in there with a fan, and it stirred the gas that the AQM creates up in that bag. So what you want it to do is to rotate totally around the items and the gas to rotate to get to all the spores. Pulled it out in 3 days, smelled great. Totally got rid of the smell. So the cardboard absorbs that gas so it won't work. So that's one reason. 2, mold is eating that cardboard. And if you take the cardboard out and then put it back, you've put mold back into your clean area. So you don't want to do that. You want to get rid of the cardboard. Again, the musty smell in the basement, you're going to want to put that AQM throughout the whole house. What that does is oxidize those spores. It has extra oxygen molecules, stronger than a chlorine, to attack them and break them down so they don't come back. So knowing the story behind the odor is going to help us decide what your odor is and get you the right product. So if you don't know, call and ask. And sometimes, if you think the odor is urine, it doesn't matter if it's dog, cat, people, mice, raccoons, squirrels. I never heard of skunk odor, urine odor, because nobody ever gets close enough to have them pee. But the same product is going to get rid of urine smells. So if you had mice underneath your car, if you had, somebody just told me this morning that they had cushions kept into a box on their boat, and the mice got in and do what they do, beep, boop, live and die, in her cushions. And she said she scrubbed it really good to get rid of the smell, but it didn't work. She sprayed the eliminator on it. She says it was a miracle. It got rid of it totally. And then she gave the same bottle to her son, and he got rid of cat pee smell in his carpet. So knowing what your odor is, if it's urine, the same product works on that, the odor eliminator. So it could be, I had another call this week. This woman said exactly that. I have this 3-story condo. We rent it for almost $3,500 a month. When I walk in there, the tenant just moved out. We're getting a new one in mid-July. When I walk in there, there's a smell. I really don't know what it is. Okay, tell me more. She goes, well, I think it could be body odor. It was a husband and wife that lived in there. They ended up moving out because he was getting Alzheimer's. Now, he wasn't real bad yet because there's like 3 big flights of steps. Really, really nice facility. But the bedrooms were on one story. The kitchen was on another. So getting Alzheimer's, you start not doing steps well. You forget where the bathroom is, and having to go down the steps to bed to eat, so they had to move. So when she said Alzheimer's, my ears perked up because there's probably urine somewhere in there, because that's kind of what happens. You start losing your memory of where the bathroom is, can't get there in time, and dribbles or all out peeing in the corners. In the nursing homes, I've run into where they actually pee directly into the vent on the side of the wall. The cold air return might be 4 foot by 3 foot wide in a nursing home because it's big air conditioner return vents, and they kind of just peed right there. So I went over to view it for her and help her. I didn't smell it, and I usually smell those things pretty good. So what we did is there was 2 rooms with carpet, and I did get a couple whiffs of urine in there, but we used the black light to try and find the urine. And so, of course, once you know what the smell is, you got to know where the smell is. So we really couldn't. The resident who was moving out, she had washed everything. She was trying to get rid of any smells. She did the best she could, but soap does not get rid of urine smell. So she washed away all the fluorescent from that a black light would show. So it was very difficult to exactly pinpoint where there was urine. But there were certain places you could walk and just, as you turn your head, you could get a whiff of urine and you knew, okay, it's somewhere. So that's going to be kind of a mystery. So what we decided to do was, I know a guy who will clean your carpets, and it's actually a dry clean system. And he injects the solution in with OdorXit in it into the carpet, and it will eliminate that smell. So he couldn't get over for like another week. So I said, well, let's use the AQM in the room. We just close that room off. Just use a small packet, $25. Put the fan in there. Let it circulate. And do that for 3 to 6 days before he comes, and see if that takes care of the smell. She's going to have to clean the carpets anyway before the new tenant arrives. So just kind of check the smell at that point, see if it's better. Because when you close up a house and it has an odor, the odor is a gas, whether it's urine, whether it's mold, it doesn't matter what it is. That urine is a gas, or the odor is a gas. And with the house being closed, nobody walking through, nobody stirring up the air, the first one in the door that opens that door, they unsettle that air, and the air pressure from that door moving all that air now, and it does it from 3 stories up, will pull that stinky air right into your nose. First person in, though. Second person's probably not going to smell it. So I always, when people ask me to come and figure out what their smell is, I always want to be the first one in the house, because that opening up the door is going to bring that stinky air right into my nose. And that's going to help me identify, does it smell in the first place, and can get an early read on what that smell is. So that's what we're going to do. She's using the AQM first, trying to get rid of, if it were body odor, any kind of musty smell, get rid of that first and see how that does. And then have him clean the carpets with OdorXit and see if that takes care of it, and then let that dry, which his process dries in like 90 minutes. So it's really cool. And then they can close it up for a day, let everything settle, walk back in, be the first one in, open in the door, and see what it smells like. So it's kind of a test, because we don't really know what it is. Yes, there's urine. We spray the black light on the walls, on the floor. You can see a little bit on the toilet, and there was definitely some fluorescent there. But I didn't smell the urine in the bathroom. But spraying the toilet in the bathroom is real easy. If that's all it is, then she's done, and it cost her $50 and a little bit of my time. And she's gotten rid of her odor, and she can go back to renting it for $3,300 a month. Woohoo! I want one of those, although I'm not sure I want to pay the mortgage every month. So what is your odor? It's real important to figure out what it is, and there's just little things that we can do to help you. Now, I had another rental that she had a handicapped child who she rolled on the floor. She couldn't walk. She had a special wheelchair. But the urine that I found in this house was on the steps to the second floor. And this child never went up there. So what we deduced from the neighbors is why the second floor smelled so bad was because the woman had a boyfriend who spent a lot of time there and got drunk often. And he waited too long to pee, and he would pee and dribble as he went down the steps. So you could see small fluorescent spots on the carpet that were a human pee. And there's definitely a difference in smell between a human pee, dog pee, cat pee. I don't have too much experience in raccoon and mice pee, but I'm sure they must smell a little different too, because they eat different food. So what goes in comes out. And you might have noticed in your own pee when you eat asparagus. Boy, does that change the smell of your pee. But I digress. But you just got to know where it is. The odor eliminator, OdorXit, will get rid of that smell. So don't clean before you use your black light to find out where the urine is, if that's the smell that you think it is. So a couple other fun ideas about dogs and cats. Dogs pee in the middle of the room generally, and cats pee in the corners, pee around the edges. Cats will also pee at doors because they're marking their territory. If other cats come around, they're on your porch. Cats are going to pee there marking. So if they had cats, that's more where you'd want to look. And then, of course, you want to look and spray behind the baseboards, the toe strips, because it could get on the wall. They're going to hike their leg. It's going to hit the wall maybe 6-10 inches up, and then drip down, and then go behind the baseboard, the toe strip, and even go underneath. If they use that corner a lot, it's going to eventually have to go someplace. So it's going to absorb back into the drywall, into the lath, whatever kind of wall you got, and go back into that 2x4. So if you do that, that's a bigger problem. You still got to get the OdorXit to all that urine to get rid of the smell. The best way to do that is cut your drywall off 2 feet up, So it's much easier to put in a new piece, because putting in a 3-inch piece, because that's where the P is, it's very, very difficult, time consuming. Lots of cuss words are said. Ask me how I know. Oh, yes, I was the one slinging those cuss words at that time. So going 2 feet up to replace it, you may only have to do 4 feet, depending on how many cats and how bad it is. But you want to take that drywall off, spray the 2x4s behind there. And if you can't, if spraying isn't doing it, we also recommend injecting it into the wood. You can take an 1/8 of an inch drywall bit and drill holes in a diagonal into the 2x4s, into the floor below, and inject the solution in there, the OdorXit and water. It will get to more of the urine. It'll absorb into that wood, and it will get rid of that smell 100%. Just got to know where it is and apply it there. You got to know what the smell is and where the smell is, and apply the right OdorXit, and your life will smell fresh and clean again. I promise. That's our guarantee. And we want to hear from you if that's not how it's working for you, because as you can kind of tell from my stories, there's lots of things you can do to be sure and get the product to the right place to get rid of that smell. And skunk smell. Skunk smell. You can assume that when your dog runs in the house and all of a sudden he reeks to really high heaven, that he's just been hit by a skunk, especially if it's like dusk in the morning and dusk at night, 11 o'clock at night, bedtime. That's when the skunks come out, and they're nocturnal, and they're really prevalent around mid-February, Valentine's Day. That's when you can smell love is in the air. And they kind of go back to hibernate around November. So they kind of do their last little visit to the world and spray things then. But now, so let's say you're standing in line at a concert. Okay, let's pretend Corona, nobody knows what it is. It hasn't happened yet. And we can still go out and be right behind another human being. Reach out and touch them. But yet we don't want to because they smell bad. Now, obviously, if it's not your friend, you're probably not going to tell him, hey, buddy, you smell bad. I got this great website for you. Which is what our people now want us to say in our commercials, because we don't want to offend people because they smell. But I digress. So, but your first thought is, oh man, he must have got hit by a skunk before the concert. Because I was at a meeting, this has been probably a year ago now, but it's like, wow, they must have got hit by a skunk before they came to the meeting tonight. But then I went, wait a minute, they were smoking pot. So have you ever heard that pot and skunk smells are similar? That's the first time I realized the two. I've smelled pot before, but I'll tell you what, it took me a minute or two to realize she did not get hit by a skunk. She was smoking pot. So 2 different products for that. If you're smoking pot, if you're a cigarette smoker and you're a kid and you don't want your parents to know, or you're a parent and you don't want your kids to know, magic is the answer for you. Can you see that? It's not very clear on my screen, but it's magic. It is an odor neutralizer. And you can actually take this and kind of just spritz yourself. It's going to and it absorbs that smell. So you can spray your hair, your clothes, you can spray your car, and it absorbs that smell, and it doesn't leave a fragrance of its own. It's not like lilac fresh or, what's that? Ozium. Ozium is like lemon and lime and lilac, and we don't do that. We're just water and essential oils Once you spray it, give it a minute or two, the smell goes away. It also takes your smoke smell. If you're smoking cigarettes in the car and getting ready to pick up your mom, because COVID-19 is over and we're allowed to be close to people again. Spray the car just to get it fresh and clean smelling. It'll get rid of the cigarette smoke smell. You empty your ashtray and spray it right in there. It'll neutralize that smell right away. I mean, it's really, and that's why we call it magic. It really is. Now, the lady this morning, she called the Eliminator a miracle, but we're not changing its name. It's an odor eliminator and a miracle, but they work on all kinds of odors. And on the back, on both of, well, all of our products, we have pictures of a lot of the uses that you can use these products on. So if you're kind of confused and you don't have the product yet, call us. But this one also is really good for dog body odor. Like if he goes out and rolls in something, you want to wash him first and wash that off. And I mean, and then you can spray the eliminator directly on those areas, like this for the skunk, but don't spray around his face. Take a sponge and wipe that on. And then you got to find out if he still smells a little bit of skunk, you got to find out where it is. So sniff him and find out exactly what still smells and reapply the eliminator there. The magic I apply, I spray it in my hands and I pet my dog, and it gets rid of the body odor. Now the moms will do the same thing. Moms, I spray my hands and that kind of takes away the odor. Mom stands for mold, odor, mildew, smoke, and it is another packet product. And you can see the different uses here and even more on the back. Sports, awesome for hockey smells. And if you're wearing those gloves and stinky, you know what that odor is. Your shoes, same thing. It will get rid of any athlete's foot fungus in there, so it stops growing and takes away the smell in your shoes and your feet. Mothballs, you can get rid of mothball odor with this. You just got to know where it is to spray. Tack for your horses. You can spray the bit, the leather, and that will take care of mold on those. What else we got? Dust mite matter. Yes, when my tenants move out of the house, they don't clean quite as good as I do. Or maybe they clean better because I use it on my drapes too. And I spray the drapes because I don't know how they lived, how they cleaned, and it will oxidize those dust mites on my curtains. And if you're going to replace them, you take them down and all that dust falls on your head. Spray the drapes with that, and it'll get rid of the smell. It oxidizes, and I'm not sure what that means as far as dust mites, but it makes it so I don't sneeze. So it's really awesome stuff, and I can go continue to clean their house and get rid of all of that. Doorknobs, I've been in this is when I had apartment buildings, they would turn up the heat because it'd get cold, and then they'd put on their spaghetti strap dress and it'd be 10 degrees outside. So a lot of germs grew in there, and I used to touch the doorknob and then touch my eyes when I left, and I'd be sick for a week. So this is perfect for that sort of thing. Spray their doorknobs, spray handrails, spray anything that their hands would touch, even the walls, because they didn't touch the handrails as they went down the steps. And it will take care of those germs, and you don't have to worry about putting your hands in your eyes and getting sick. But still, you don't want to put your hands in your eyes. We never wanted to put our hands in our eyes. What's this? Your doctor's office is clean and ready for you to come back to your appointments. They should have been clean and ready for me to come a year ago. What's different? I don't get it. But I digress once again. But anyway, I am running out of stinky stories. Let's see. Oh, dead animals in the shed. You walk in and you don't know what that smell is, but it's pretty obnoxious. And then you kind of start moving things and cleaning, and you might find a body, or you never find the body, and it actually died under the shed foundation, because our shed is kind of up, it's up off the ground. And animals do hide under there. Bunnies, skunks have had nests there. And assuming that it's an animal like that, again, you're going to want the eliminator. So there's certain processes of elimination that we can go through to help you find out what is your odor. And if you're still not sure, you can always call us 1-877-OdorXit, 877-636-7948. And we're happy to help you, happy to figure out and work with you like we did with that lady, trying 2 different products to get rid of that odor and see if that makes her whole apartment smell better. So we're happy to work with you. You know, we do guarantee our products. So let us know what you're thinking. We love to hear your stories. And check us out at OdorXit.com. And again, I would like you, if you haven't already, to hit subscribe button down below so that you get notified when we do these videos. I do them every Thursday morning at 10 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I'm not sure what the topic is for next week, but I'm sure it will be something stinky. And see, okay. Everybody have a great day. Hit the subscribe button. Tune in next Thursday at 10 a.m. Eastern Time. And I look forward to hearing from you this week. If you have questions on your odors and don't know, ooh, what is that smell? Have a great day.